Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Gustavo. Gustavo is the Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian form of the masculine Scandinavian name Gustav. The name likely originates from the Old Norse elements Gautr meaning Goth and stafr meaning staff. The Goths were an Eastern Germanic tribe who emerged from Scandinavia, particularly Sweden, and eventually broke out into two branches, the Visigoths, Western, and the Ostrogoths, Eastern. Now extinct, the Goths played a huge role in the fall of the Roman Empire. In fact, it was the Visigoths who famously sacked Rome in 410 AD. Eventually, the Visigoths defeated the Vandals and conquered most of the Iberian Peninsula by the end of the 5th century. This resulted in the assimilation of cultures, religion, and language between the Hispano-Romans and the Visigoths that by the 7th century any ethnic distinction was no longer visible. This is why you find Germanic names among the Latin Spaniards and Portuguese, same reason why there are leftover Arabic names from when the Muslim Moors occupied the Iberian Peninsula. The Visigoths played an important role in the history of Hispaniola. The name Gustavo, i.e., staff of the Goths, is one symbol of this enduring influence of an old Scandinavian tribe who, over centuries, would come to settle in Spain/Portugal. It is also one of the more rare Spanish and Italian names not inspired by the Catholic Church. Today, Gustavo is on the top 100 lists in both Mexico and Chile. Personality of the boy named Gustavo. Romance is the hallmark of the Six personality. They exude nurturing, loving, and caring energy. Sixes are in love with the idea of love in its idealized form, and with their magnetic personalities, they easily draw people toward them. Like the number 2 personality, they seek balance and harmony in their life and the world at large. They are conscientious and service-oriented, and a champion for the underdog. These personalities naturally attract money and are usually surrounded by lovely material objects, but their human relationships are always primary. They thrive in giving back to others rather than being motivated by their own desires. This is when they achieve great things. Sixes are natural teachers, ministers, and counselors. Popularity of the boy named Gustavo. Gustavo is basically a name that's been around in America since the mid-1940s. The name gained popularity as the Hispanic American population grew throughout the latter half of the 20th century and into the beginning of the 21st century. Spanish-specific given names have shown more prominence on the U.S. naming charts as a result. While Gustavo is not one of the most popular Spanish names in America, it has still increased in usage. However, as with many Spanish names, Gustavo has been demonstrating a consistent decline in the past 10 years as second- and third-generation Mexican Americans and other Latinos have been assimilating into American society and opting for more English-based names. Given Gustavo's origins among the Germanic Goths, we find this name particularly interesting in the context of Spain and Portugal's rich history. Back in the 15th century, both the Spaniards and the Swedes laid claim to their Visigothic origins, quite proud of this heritage, namely because it was the Visigoths who were finally able to sack Rome and facilitate the end of the dominating force known as the Roman Empire. Naming a son Gustavo is one way to embrace this interesting piece of Spanish history. Quick facts on Gustavo. Gender, boy. Origin, Italian. Number of syllables, 3. Ranking popularity, 457. Pronunciation, Gustavo. Simple meaning, staff of the Goths. Characteristics of Gustavo. Sensitive, humanitarian, affectionate, family-oriented, compassionate, community-minded, loving. Cultural references to the baby name Gustavo. Famous people named Gustavo. Gustavo Adolfo Bia with tilde, copyright Quer, Spanish writer/poet, Gustavo Cisneros, Venezuelan media mogul, Gustavo Santaolalla, musician/composer, Gustavo Molina, baseball player, Gustavo Chacon, baseball player, Gustavo das Ordaz, former president of Mexico, Gustavo Kuerten, Brazilian tennis player,